Girl fanboy, which is how I met Chris. Chris has pictures of him. Chris is also a massage therapist. He has pictures massaging me in the Power Girl suit.
All right.
But this is the kind of fun you can have if you're not all butthurt about being a woman in comics. If you can, like, you know, be into it and laugh about the silliness of it, then we can have a really good time, and then we can start really making something happen. And comics is a shrinking medium. Well, my belief is you make it like the clubs. The attendance at your club starts tanking, ladies' night. Women's getting free, men's pay cover. So that's how I kind of feel about comics. If we can get that female reader shit up. Men's, I said women's. Women's getting free, men's pay cover, to men folk. You know, the more, if we can get more women into comics, first of all, we've got this rash of new readers. And the average person reads comics for about 3 years, then gives up. So we get those, you know, these girls who are big into Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean, who get the geek stuff, you know, they like Hellboy, they like, you know, some of the smaller stuff, like, oh God, Angelina Jolie in Wanted. They emulate her, whatever, they'll read the book. If we can get female readers in, we've got more people reading comics, but we also then have stories for women. And I'd like it to become more like, well, film's not, film's very male-driven as well, but TV right now. More women are watching the TV than men. So you see these great female characters, like the characters on CSI, or someone like, you know, Jamie King, I believe her name is, on My Name Is Earl. These are, you know, shows for everybody. They're shows for men as well as women, but they're exciting female characters. And the more women we get in comics, the more of that we're going to see, and for completely selfish reasons, I want that to happen. So it was a big success. We're going to do it again. We're going to try to get more events going on. Somebody's coming over here. My radical new ideas! So we're going to try to do some events throughout the year, because one of the things we also want to do is bring people in, give them the pat on the back, because sometimes that can get you through rough times. All it needs sometimes is for somebody to give you a kind word or two, and you can sit down and crank out those 10 pages you need to finish your graphic novel or to finish your next issue, you know, your floppies. So that's my idea, and I talked about that for 17 minutes just on that subject.
And we love you for it.
Thank you. Excellent breath control. Yes, I'm here.
Third question. Now, we all know that you're a geeky toy collector, just like me. Thank you very much. But of all the recent toys that you've gotten into your collection, what's your absolutely favorite?
Recent?
Yes, recent.
Well, I got a Gorgon from Clash of the Titans, I think it was. Somebody gave it to me just free.
Nice.
I was down at Wizard World Chicago, and I gave them a book for whatever reason. So you gave me something so weird. It was like, free toy?
Free Gorgon?
Wow, free Gorgon!
Woohoo!
And this is kind of a funny story. My mother calls my toy collection the ugly things. She is trying very hard to understand me, but right on top, like right in my dining room, there's that, oh God, I'm blanking, George Rosen cover, The Shadow, the Book of Death, where it's death with a skull head stabbing a book and it's bleeding, and that's in my dining room. And my mother sat down, saw the thing, and went, "What is that?" It's ugly, and she made us cover it up. So now the only part of my house that did not have an ugly thing was the bathroom. So the Gorgon is now sitting right outside the bathroom just to complete the experience for my mother when she comes home.
All right, last question, Liana. Out of any project that you ever want to do, what is your dream project?
Existing character?
Anything.
Well, there's the vessel that I'm working on right now. This is something I'm shopping around right now.
Which we'll hopefully review on the show soon.
Hopefully, yeah. It's a book about feminist theology, believe it or not, even though there's a half-naked chick on the cover.
And dinosaurs.
And yeah, well, lizard men. But that's part of Mesopotamian myth. But it looks like, you know, Frank Cho did the cover. So it's perfect for Frank because she's not wearing very much. But the character is based on the statue of blind justice that Ashwell had covered up in that government building to the tune of $8,000. And this idea right now that women's bodies are more offensive than someone having their throat slit or their head blown off on television is something that really, really bothers me. No one ever died from looking at a boob. Unless they're like some 82-year-old man married to Anna Nicole Smith.
Or they've seen
It's a good way to go.
But,
It's a good way to go.
But you know what I mean? I mean, what would be more... If people get used to the human form, especially the female human form, I think that actually causes women to be more respected. Because if a guy can hold it together and actually understand that no, women are people, and if you want to look at boobs, learn to appreciate the whole woman, because that means you get to look more. But the female form has become so conflicted and mystified, and there's this element of shame, or the element that
that's the thing with Women in Comics panel, that it's showing that girls in comics can be human too, not just perfect mold after mold.
See, I kind of think that, well, because, I mean, this is the superhero. The woman in this book, Anna Keyes, she is, instead of being a billionaire playboy, she's a psycho patient living on government assistance and socialized housing. And it's clean line art, so she still looks kind of babe-like, but I mean, that's her, and that's foreshortened, so that's bad. Her boobs really aren't that big. But, you know, we made her real. And she wears glasses, and she's got a sensible haircut. You know, she doesn't have the designer clothes. And that's comics, though. That's everything. That's TV. That's film. Someone allegedly works at, you know, a restaurant. They're still wearing Jimmy Choos. You know, I mean, give me a break. That's not reality. So this is sort of, you know, my baby right now. But I'd love to write Superman. I'd love to write, you know, a really great X-Men story. There's so many. There's so many. I mean, I love comics and I love characters. I mean, a Power Girl miniseries would be awesome to write. I think I'm too close to do that justice, though. I don't...
Well, considering you played Power Girl how many times?
I have been in her head a lot, but when you're too close to something, it doesn't necessarily make you a good writer of that subject material. But